Stop scrolling. Seriously. Put your hand on your chest for a second, take a slow breath, and ask yourself, when was the last time your body felt truly alive? Because just listening to this video won't change anything. If you don't act on what I'm about to share, nothing in your blood flow, your energy, or even your confidence will improve. I've spent over 30 years treating men over 60. I've seen the same pattern again and again. Cold hands, heavy legs, that quiet fatigue that doesn't go away, and yes, the frustration in the bedroom that most don't talk about. But what caught me off guard was when I started noticing those same signs in myself. That moment hit differently. It forced me to stop thinking like just a doctor and start thinking like a patient. I tried the usual advice: supplements, medications, strict diets. Some helped a little, most didn't last. And then I realized something most people misunderstand. This isn't just about aging. It's about a silent drop in one molecule your body depends on: nitric oxide. When that drops, everything slows down from the inside out. So today I'm going to walk you through 7 simple foods, things you can find in your kitchen that may help your body restore that flow again. And the last one, honestly, it surprised even me. And food number 7, I almost dismissed it at first. It didn't look impressive. But in the end, it made the biggest difference in blood flow and artery health. If you're curious why, I've explained the science behind it in the description below. Before we go deeper, quick question: how old are you right now? I read every comment and I genuinely want to know. All right, let's start with the first food that helps your body rebuild nitric oxide and improve circulation after 60. 1. Nuts and seeds. Start with something so simple most men ignore it: a small handful of nuts and seeds every single day. Not once a week, not when you remember, every day, preferably in the morning or as a mid-afternoon snack. It sounds almost too basic to matter, I know, but this is where the science gets interesting. Inside these small foods is an amino acid called L-arginine. Think of it as raw material your body uses to produce nitric oxide, the very molecule that helps your blood vessels relax and open. Now here's the problem: after 60, your body doesn't produce or use nitric oxide as efficiently anymore, which means your arteries become stiffer and blood flow slows down. That's why something as simple as restoring this pathway can make a noticeable difference. In clinical observations, men who added a daily serving of walnuts or almonds saw improvements in endothelial function by up to 15 to 20% within just a few weeks. I've had patients tell me their hands felt warmer, their walking felt lighter, and yes, even their confidence started to return. What makes this powerful is the dual benefit. You're not just improving blood flow, you're also supporting cholesterol balance and reducing inflammation at the same time. Here's how to use it. 1 small handful, about 30 grams a day. Almonds, walnuts, pumpkin seeds, or sunflower seeds. Eat them raw or lightly roasted, but avoid heavily salted versions. Consistency matters more than quantity because this works like a slow rebuild, not a quick fix. Do it daily for a few weeks and your body begins to respond in ways you can actually feel. But what if I told you there's a fruit that doesn't just support nitric oxide, it actually protects it from being destroyed too quickly? 2. Citrus fruits. Now let's step it up a level, and this is where many men make a critical mistake. They focus only on producing nitric oxide, but they forget something just as important: protecting it. A simple habit I often recommend is this: start your morning with half a fresh lemon squeezed into warm water, or eat 1 whole orange after breakfast. It sounds almost too easy, guys, but this is where traditional wisdom and modern science quietly agree. In traditional medicine, citrus fruits have long been used to invigorate circulation and clear stagnation. Today, we understand why. Vitamin C doesn't just support your immune system, it acts like a shield that protects nitric oxide from being broken down by oxidative stress. And here's the central mechanism most people miss. Nitric oxide is fragile, and after age 60, your body produces more free radicals that destroy it faster than you can make it. Clinical data shows that improving vitamin C levels can enhance endothelial function by around 30%, while another study observed up to a 25% improvement in flow-mediated dilation, a key marker of blood vessel flexibility. But it gets more interesting when you look at synergy. Citrus fruits also contain flavonoids, and when vitamin C and flavonoids work together, they don't just protect nitric oxide, they actually extend its lifespan inside your blood vessels. Now, here's the risk. If you're not consuming enough antioxidants, your nitric oxide gets neutralized almost immediately, which means even a good diet won't fully help your circulation. So here's exactly how to use this. Start small if you're new, half a lemon in warm water for the first few days, then gradually move to 1 full lemon or 1 medium orange daily. Best time is morning or early afternoon when your body is most responsive. Stay consistent for at least 2 weeks, and you may begin to notice subtle changes: warmer extremities, clearer thinking, more stable energy. But what if instead of just protecting nitric oxide, you could actually improve the cells that produce it in the first place? 3. Pomegranate. Now we move into something more powerful and noticeably faster. If nuts and citrus help build and protect nitric oxide, pomegranate goes a step further. It helps your blood vessels produce more of it, more efficiently. I usually tell my patients to start with 1 small glass of pomegranate juice a day, about 150 to 200 milliliters, preferably in the morning or about 30 minutes before activity. It may sound like just another fruit, but the effect can show up quicker than you expect. The key compound here is polyphenols, especially punecollagens. These compounds directly support the endothelial cells, the inner lining of your blood vessels, where nitric oxide is actually produced. Think of it like this. Instead of just adding raw materials, you're improving the factory itself. And the process is surprisingly simple. Better endothelial function means more nitric oxide release, smoother blood flow, and less resistance inside your arteries. In controlled observations, drinking pomegranate juice has been linked to up to a 30% increase in nitric oxide activity within a few hours, while longer-term use showed improvements in arterial thickness by measurable margins over several months. I've had men tell me they felt a difference the same day: better energy, less heaviness in the legs, even improved stamina during simple activities like walking. Now, some people push back and say it's too sweet, or I'm worried about sugar. That's fair. But here's how I reframe it. When used in the right amount, that mild sweetness is not a problem. It's a signal your body is receiving something bioactive. If needed, dilute it with water or choose unsweetened versions, and always stick to moderate portions. Use it daily, consistently, and you get both short-term circulation support and long-term vascular protection. But what if there was a food that doesn't just improve the system? It actually feeds directly into the nitric oxide pathway itself, step by step? 4. Watermelon. This one might sound unusual at first, but I've had patients drink watermelon juice on an empty stomach in the morning, and the effects were surprisingly noticeable. Not because it's refreshing, but because it feeds directly into one of the most efficient nitric oxide pathways your body has. If you've ever felt cold fingers, slight numbness, or slow healing in your feet, this is where things start to connect. The key compound here is L-citrulline. Unlike arginine, which your body can break down quickly, citrulline takes a smarter route. It converts into arginine inside your kidneys and then into nitric oxide, step by step, more sustained, more efficient. So instead of a quick spike, you get a smoother and longer-lasting increase in blood flow, both in major arteries and in tiny capillaries where circulation often declines first after 60. In practical terms, studies have shown that citrulline intake can increase plasma arginine levels by over 20%, while improving blood vessel dilation by around 15% in a short period. That's not just theory. It translates into better oxygen delivery, less muscle fatigue, and improved microcirculation, especially in areas that usually feel neglected. Here's how to use it. Start with 1 cup of fresh watermelon or about 200 milliliters of juice daily, ideally slightly chilled but not ice cold, since extreme cold can slow digestion. After a few days, you can increase to 2 cups if your body tolerates it well. If you have blood sugar concerns, pair it with a small amount of protein to stabilize absorption. Stick with it consistently, and you're supporting both immediate flow and long-term vascular function. But what we're about to cover next doesn't just support nitric oxide, it helps your body switch it on at the enzymatic level. 5. Garlic. This one may sound a little intense, but I want you to try crushing 1 clove of raw garlic, let it sit for about 10 minutes, and then eat it, preferably on an empty stomach or before dinner. I know it's strong, the taste, the smell, not exactly pleasant. But this is where things get deeper because garlic doesn't just feed nitric oxide pathways, it helps activate the system that produces it in the first place. The key compound here is allicin. When garlic is crushed, allicin forms and begins interacting with enzymes in your blood vessels, especially nitric oxide synthase, the enzyme responsible for converting arginine into nitric oxide. What's important is the chain reaction. Allicin enhances enzyme activity, increases nitric oxide production, and improves both large vessel dilation and microcirculation, which directly affects symptoms like numbness in the feet, cold hands, or slow healing. In clinical observations, regular garlic intake has been associated with reductions in blood pressure by up to 8 to 10%, while other data shows improvements in arterial flexibility and circulation markers within 6 to 8 weeks. I've had patients tell me their legs felt lighter, their walking steadier, and even small cuts healed faster than before. Here's how to start. Begin with half a clove per day if you're not used to it, then gradually increase to 1 or 2 cloves daily. Always crush and let it rest before eating. That step is critical for activating allicin. Avoid cooking it at high heat as that can reduce its potency. And if you're on blood thinners, consult your doctor first because garlic can enhance their effects. Stay consistent, and you're not just improving flow, you're activating the system behind it. But what if there was something even more foundational? Something your body can convert into nitric oxide almost immediately. 6. Leafy greens. This one might surprise you, but I often tell my patients to start chewing their greens slowly, almost like you're activating them in your mouth before swallowing. It sounds unusual, maybe even unnecessary, but there's a reason behind it. Because with leafy greens, the process doesn't start in your stomach, it starts in your mouth. The key compound here is dietary nitrate. When you eat nitrate-rich greens like spinach, arugula, or kale, bacteria in your mouth convert those nitrates into nitrites. Then, once swallowed, those nitrites are further converted into nitric oxide inside your body. This is called the nitrate-nitrite-nitric oxide pathway, and here's why it matters. After age 60, when your primary nitric oxide production declines, this backup system becomes incredibly important. In clinical observations, a single serving of high-nitrate greens has been shown to improve blood vessel function within hours, while longer-term intake has been associated with reductions in blood pressure by around 5 to 10%. Another set of data showed improved microcirculation, meaning better oxygen delivery to small tissues. This is where symptoms like numbness in the feet, tingling in the hands, or slow healing often begin to improve. Here's how to use it. Start with 1 small bowl per day, then gradually increase to 2 servings. Best consumed raw or lightly steamed, not overcooked, because heat can reduce nitrate content. Try eating them earlier in the day and avoid using strong antibacterial mouthwash right before or after meals. It can disrupt the very bacteria needed for this conversion. If you have kidney issues or are on certain medications, consult your doctor before increasing intake significantly, just to be safe. Done correctly, this pathway can support both large blood flow and the smallest capillaries your body depends on. And now, we arrive at the final food, the one that works faster, stronger, and more directly than anything we've discussed so far. 7. Beets. This may sound a little extreme, but I've asked patients to drink a small glass of beetroot juice on an empty stomach first thing in the morning, even before coffee. It's not the most pleasant taste for everyone, and yes, the color can be surprising, but this is one of the fastest ways to influence your blood flow from the inside. In fact, this is where everything we've talked about comes together and then accelerates. The key compound here is dietary nitrate, but in beets, it exists at a much higher concentration than most foods. Once you consume it, the process follows a very efficient chain. Nitrate is converted by oral bacteria into nitrite and then into nitric oxide in your bloodstream. What makes beets unique is the speed and intensity of this conversion, especially in older adults where the primary nitric oxide pathway has slowed down. This means not just better flow in major arteries, but also improved microcirculation, where issues like numb toes, cold hands, or slow-healing skin often begin. In controlled trials, beetroot juice has been shown to reduce systolic blood pressure by around 4 to 5 millimeters of mercury within just a few hours, while broader analyses have reported consistent improvements in both systolic and diastolic pressure over time. Another observation found enhanced oxygen delivery and endurance, meaning your muscles and brain receive more of what they need exactly when they need it. Here's how to use it. Start with about 100 milliliters per day, then gradually increase to 200 to 250 milliliters as your body adapts. Best taken in the morning or about 2 to 3 hours before physical activity, slightly chilled but not ice cold to support absorption. If you notice pink or red urine, don't panic. That's a harmless sign your body is processing beet pigments, not blood. If you have kidney stone risk or are sensitive to oxalates, speak with your doctor before long-term use. But when used correctly, this is one of the most direct, powerful ways to restore circulation after 60. And here's the real question. What happens when you combine several of these foods together into a daily routine? If you found this helpful, hit subscribe so you don't miss upcoming videos where we break down simple, science-based ways to boost nitric oxide, improve blood flow, and support healthy arteries after 60. Your health can still improve, one small habit at a time. Thanks for watching today.